Hello again, YouTube! We're back with another Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor commentary episode. This is Dr. Kendo, of course, your guide in creating the most popular, most requested Scribblenauts creations based on your requests, basically, in the comments section each week. And here we have our Rick creation from last week, actually. It was back on Sunday, and then we've also got Morty coming up right here. You can't have Rick without his Morty, but some people also felt, you know what, you can't have Rick without Pickle Rick. So, of course, now we're going to be creating Pickle Rick. And so I thought you guys just wanted to have a nice good look at our creations right here. If you did not see them, of course, that was last Sunday's episode. That's episode 242. We created them. So I did show you how to make them in that episode. And now we will start off with, why not a pickle as the source object? You don't always have to start with the source object. In fact, I would say 9 times out of 10, I don't start with the source object of the actual thing or piece of whatever, you know, character that we're going to be creating, i.e. a pickle for Pickle Rick. You know, I don't always do something like that. We used actually a pool girl, though, to cover up most of the pickle right there, actually all of the pickle, I should say, and gave it that color pattern that has some swishiness in it and stuff on the first page, kind of just to imply that there's some shading and whatnot. But we are actually going to run out of stamp space, even though this is a pretty simple looking design and everything. We're still going to run out, so we're going to do the best we can on getting the most amount of stamps and the most amount of detail that we can get on the character. Just remember that Scribblenauts Unlimited, even though the game is called that, it does have a limit to how many stamps you can put down. A stamp like this fingernail for the nose, or those 2 snowballs for the eyes. Kidney bean is what we're going to type in after that for the mouth right here, and of course that's a dark greenish color. The mouth is going to be open like this, and we'll get some teeth in there in a second, but let's go with a wakeboard right now. And the wakeboard is something that could be substituted also for like an octopus tentacle piece. There's probably a lot of stamps that you could use. Honestly, in this game there's pretty much 15 different stamp options, or 20 minimum, for like every design aspect. And so we're actually going with a wart right now to be the pupils right here in the eyes. So just remember that we are working with the pickle as the source object. All of the stamps that you place down for creating Pickle Rick here, they do actually need to be placed on the original pickle and then moved with the arrows. So it's like you can't just put that wake skate or wakeboard piece for his unibrow up there all the way up there from the start. You have to place it down kind of where the original pickle was and then move it all the way up with the arrows. And so here we've got the scorpion upper middle tail piece. So it's just a little kind of tiny tail piece. It can shrink down pretty small to get us each one of these individual teeth. We did a bunch of them, as you just noticed. And we got a seahorse right here. And so we'll take the belly, kind of lower abdomen piece of this seahorse just before the end of its tail. So in essence, the start of the tail, I guess, on that seahorse. That's all going to be for the tongue there inside of Pickle Rick's mouth. And we'll go with eyebrow. And I think one more stamp after this would be the stamp limit. So I'm not going to try to add any of the other details. It looks like we've got what we need. Those 2 eyebrows are just for bags underneath his eyes. Of course, this is the properties editor where you can edit the health and how it moves and all of that kind of extra stuff. This is where I like to read background information and fun facts about the characters that we create. We'll talk about Pickle Rick. Of course, it's the 3rd episode of the 3rd season of Rick and Morty. We created those 2 back over the weekend, as I said, as I normally upload every Sunday, but I know that people really wanted to see the Pickle Rick version of Rick after Rick and Morty were voted most popular by you guys. Essentially, the episode, of course, for anyone who hasn't seen it, plainly put, is about Rick turning himself into a pickle as the Smith family attends therapy. This is just a real quick creation episode, almost a speed create, so we're really not going to be going in depth on all of the other variations of Pickle Rick, like the rat suit, but we will show off, actually, that our Pickle Rick creation, it can basically use the ride, or quote-unquote mount, dismount commands on a roach or a rat here in Scribblenauts Unlimited, so kind of a reference to that episode, you know? We're making it so that basically under the equipment tab, if you saw, we've checked off the box that says that he can sit on things, and for fun, I'll also make it that Pickle Rick himself can be sat upon. That sounds so wrong. Anyway, you notice that, of course, when Pickle Rick is just down there on the ground, he will kind of hop around. You can make his movement speed even like 1 if you want him to just be able to move really slowly, because obviously if he's a pickle, he can basically barely move. Of course, in the episode, he does roll around a little bit, getting swept up and all of that. But here he is riding on top of the rat. I know that that's not exactly how it worked in the episode, but small reference to it, you know, it kind of within the parameters of Scribblenauts Unlimited, it's a slight reference to it. But yeah, pretty simple for today. Again, this is not not normally the day that I upload, so just consider this extra. It's almost like a part 2 of that Rick and Morty creation, but I know that people were curious for it, so I wanted to just give you guys something good that you were asking for. Anyway, of course, leave your comments down below on what we should create next. Does not have to be from Rick and Morty, can be from any video games, television show, movies, even just nerd and geek stuff in general, popular things that are out there. You let me know, and I will, of course, catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
Twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return to the rest of our lives with the